Hi, Analisa Six here with the Lady of Leisure and the Sober Curator to bring you the December 2024 horoscope for the zodiac sign of Libra for Sun and Rising placements. Hi, Libra. Welcome to December, Sagittarius season. I can't believe it's December already and that we're ending the year. It's been such a crazy year for me. I don't know about you. I feel like all the Libras in my life have had pretty intense years. Yeah, I think so. I think 2024 was a pretty intense year. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So Sagittarius season, the sun and, kind of the energy here hits in the Libra horoscope for you in the third house. So the third house is the house that rules our communication, how we learn, how we perceive information on kind of a more simplified level, analytical level. It's also the house that rules neighbors and siblings. And so when the sun is here, it highlights all of those themes for us in our life. We also start December out with Mercury retrograde in this house. So Mercury retrograde in the third house of communication does mean that communication issues are a major theme for you. And, in Sagittarius is a very complex energy. It has a lot to do with our values, our belief systems, how we think about spirituality, how we think about religion, how we think about the kind of systems in place that we align ourselves with from a the word that I'm thinking of, philosophical level, like what are our philosophies about life and, are we living in alignment with them? Also, the way that we communicate those philosophies can really dictate kind of how people perceive us or relate to us. And one of the things about Libra dominant people, as somebody that has had so many of them in my life, and I absolutely love Libra. I'm a Leo, and Libra, we are like, hell yes, we love to work together, hang out together, be creative together. Back when I used to party, like Leo and Libra like to party. We like to have a good time. We like nice things. We're two peas in a pod. I have so many positive memories with so many different Libras in my life. And one of the things I will say that, kind of also crosses over to Sagittarius and Libras too, because Sag and Libra also get along really well, is that Libra likes to know things and can be a very intellectual sign. And one of the things that's really positive about Libra is because Libra rules fairness and equality and, kind of karmic balance. Libra is really good at seeing both sides to a situation. So it's like nothing is black and white with Libra in the sense that they're not polarized on one side. Usually they can always see kind of both sides and find a middle way and kind of see what's fair or what, makes sense for everything. But because of that, and because of the ability to intellectualize that so much, Libra can come in kind of intense with some of those viewpoints. And so with Sagittarius being so prevalent in the air, we're all heightened in that way. Like all of us, especially with some of the stuff going on politically, there's a lot of that energy in the sky with Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius in terms of us all having our points of view or our opinions or our beliefs or our values. And because Libra is smart, it's a very intellectual, smart sign. It, like I said, it's really good at contextualizing things and seeing both sides. And because of where Sagittarius is hitting in the horoscope of, hey, let me tell you what I know, let me tell you my belief systems, my thoughts. Young Libra is really good at thinking that everyone else around them wants to hear it or is I almost feel like young Libra comes in acting like no one else knows this but them. Sagittarius does this too. I'm Sag rising, so I also know that I do this. And so one of the things about a Mercury retrograde in this area is having to maybe learn lessons of humility around what you don't know or how you disseminate your wisdom or information. Sometimes when you come in really hot sharing something, that can also come back on you if the other person has a different value system or a different belief system, or they just don't agree with you. They might have a completely different viewpoint. And one of the things I really enjoy about Libra is a good fighter. Every Libra, I know Libras are known for not wanting conflict and avoiding conflict, but like if Libra's pissed, Libra's going to come in and say, no, like this is what I think about this. And I do think it's that fight for truth, that fight for justice, that fight for equality and fairness. And so there's kind of this thing happening with Mercury retrograde, this dichotomy where it's like you have to figure out what's worth fighting for, what's worth saying, what wisdom or value do you have that you bring to the table that's worth advocating for in your communication, whether that's something you do in relationship dynamics or at work, or even like if you're a writer, or any area that you're kind of like doing this stuff in. If you have an online presence, whatever's happening in your life, you're kind of being brought into this space around having to reflect on how you're being perceived in that communication. And, Mercury is going to be retrograde for the first 2 weeks of December. So you're going to be working through some of that stuff. And then it's going to station direct on the 15th, but it's going to stay in this area of your chart for the whole month of December. And the point of Mercury retrograde is for us to reflect, review, and reassess things in our lives. So this is an opportunity for you to reflect on how you communicate, what you communicate, who you communicate that stuff with. And also, it's an opportunity for you to grow and learn beyond where you've been with your communication. And so if there's, sometimes there's two things that could happen. Sometimes it's like, oh, I need to learn how to communicate more about how I feel or what I think, or I'm tired of feeling this repressed energy. Some Libras can be, the opposite of what I'm saying, where there's a little bit more repressed energy. It feels more passive. You have all these thoughts and feelings, but you don't feel confident sharing them. And maybe this Mercury retrograde is about you building that confidence to really come out and say, this is what I think, and not worry so much about the people pleasing aspect that Libra can sometimes carry. Or it could be the opposite, where if you are more of this kind of passionate intellectual thinker where you're asserting things too much, you might have to learn some humility at certain points and say, what's worth sharing, who's worth, sharing it with, what are the right avenues to share this stuff in. Maybe, I need to read the room, or like develop better listening skills at times. Like those are all themes during a third house Mercury retrograde transit. And that would happen for anyone going through a Mercury retrograde transit in the third house, but it depends on what sign it's happening in. And because Sagittarius falls here, it really has to do with dissemination of information, knowledge, and wisdom, and just kind of how you express what you know or what you think you know, but also the way that you're receptive to learning new things. I think a lot of Libras are very receptive to learning new things and enjoy learning new things, but sometimes I think that, if we are trying to push so much of what we know, we can forget to also listen or ask. My dog just farted, and I don't know if you guys could hear it, but oh, you did it again. It's really loud for me and really funny. Anyways, so that's a big theme for you in the month of December. We also have a new moon hitting on the 1st of December at 9 degrees in this third house of communication. So this is a great opportunity for you to set intentions around what it is you would like to manifest more of in your life when it comes to communication dynamics, how you learn information, also relationships with siblings or neighbors. All of those types of things are highlighted for you at the start of December. Now, as the month progresses, so we start out December with Venus finishing up her stint in Capricorn. Now, where Venus has been is the fourth house, which is the house of home and family. She entered Capricorn in the month of November. And so now for the first week of December, she's going to be here finishing up her journey through that sign. My dog is really struggling right now, and if you guys can hear it, I apologize. My dog has a collapsed trachea issue happening, and there's not really a lot I can do for it. I'm not going to have him, he's too old to get a surgery or anything like that. And so he has these coughing fits at various times a day, and it's hard for him. He's an old dog, and it's starting to get really sad watching him. It's okay, bud. So I apologize if that coughing was really distracting. So Venus has been passing through the house of home and family. Whenever Venus is transiting through this area of the chart, she is, sorry, I'm watching my dog. Can you get some water, bud? My dogs are so distracting today in these videos. My other dog's been barking a lot. The neighbors coming and going. And now this dog, Bam Bam, he is on the struggle bus with his throat. You're okay, bud. Can you get some water? They're looking at me like, we want to go outside and eat some dinner too early. Let me get through this video and then I'll tend to all of your needs. You run my life. My life revolves around you. Looking at Cosmo. All right. Venus has been blessing the area of home and family. So it's interesting because you have, transits that make communication dynamics kind of difficult, but then Venus really wants to come and bring in stability and just kind of some harmonious relationship dynamics when it comes to home and family. She is leaving this area of your chart on the 6th. So she'll be entering the 5th house, which is the house of creativity and self-expression. So Venus will be blessing this house for the whole month of December. This is such a positive time for you to lean into things that make you happy. Find your joy. As Joseph Campbell would say, follow your bliss. This is a great follow your bliss energy. A lot of Libra dominant people I know are incredibly artistic and creative. Your Venus ruled, so anything artistic and creative that you can do, whether it's music, theater, art, writing, poetry, any of that stuff is really positive for you to lean into for the rest of December. Also, the way that you put yourself together. So the 5th house is, a lot to do with self-expression. And so, every Libra that I know loves adornment, like jewelry, cool clothes, the way that you put your jewelry together and your hair and, it's a very Venusian sign, right? So everything Venus oriented in terms of beauty. And I feel like every Libra dominant person too, whether it's your sun, moon, or rising placements, are all obsessed with perfumes and scents and things like that. And so having Venus passing through the 5th house, it's a really positive time for you to just lean into those things that make you happy. In Aquarius is more about detachment and servitude and also connecting with community and things like that. And what's interesting is that when Venus enters Aquarius, we have Mars also stationing retrograde in Leo. So Mars is in the opposite place than where Venus is going to be. Mars has been passing through the 11th house since last month. And Mars is the planet of action, assertion, and conflict. And where Mars is in your chart is the area that rules our relationship to groups and group dynamics. So this could be friendship circles, this could be community, this could be organizations or institutions that we're a part of. It can also be places that we volunteer our time. It can also be anything that's tied to political organizations that we associate with. And when Mars is here, we might feel some tension, some challenge, some conflict in how we're relating to others. And what's interesting is you have that Mercury retrograde energy happening in the 3rd house. You're supposed to be growing and evolving in how you communicate in general. And the area that you're really getting tested in is in these group dynamics. And then Venus in the 5th house wants you to really work on, how you creatively express yourself within that. And Mars retrograde is going to be here for all of December, and then it's going to be here for the beginning of January, and then it's going to move back into your career house. So there are some challenges between public life and how you're asserting yourself in your career, in your community, all of those things, but it's an opportunity for growth. You're really supposed to be kind of, Mars transits, I feel like, kind of knock us on our butt a little bit to teach us some humility at times and to just kind of work through our feelings and figure out different ways that we can move beyond where we've been. But it's hard because we're trying to also push a lot of energy forward that's not really ready to move forward yet. We're not going to feel a lot of forward momentum with Mars energy until the end of February. And then Mars is going to finish passing through Cancer, and then it's going to enter Leo again. And so you do have the first half of 2025 really emphasized on career, public life, and your 11th house, which is friendships, community, and who you associate with. So you might really be doing some restructuring around who you associate with, how you associate with them. And, again, Mars can bring in some humble pie and some lessons of humility. And so you might be kind of in this space of having to relearn, kind of about yourself and how you want to influence your community, but also the way that you have to be a team player at times too. Also on the 6th, Neptune is going to station direct in Pisces. We've had Neptune retrograde. This is the last time we're going to have Neptune retrograde in Pisces in our lifetime before it moves into Aries next year. Neptune was in Pisces for 15 years. And so it's been transiting the 6th house for the Libra horoscope, and Saturn's also been here as well. And so that's another shift of energy that's changing. Your health and wellness and how you structure things has been, maybe a confusing time for you. And hopefully with Neptune kind of moving direct and away from some of this more confusing energy, you start to get a better idea of what you need on a personal level when it comes to your daily routine and your health and wellness and how you take care of yourself. That's a big theme for you as Neptune stations direct. The other big shift that I'm going to talk about that happens after this is on December 15th. We're going to have a full moon at 23 degrees of Gemini. Now, the area that this is hitting for you is the 9th house and the 3rd house. So the sun is still in that area of communication for you, highlighting communication dynamics. And the 9th house, where the full moon is going to be hitting, is the area that we've had Jupiter, and Jupiter's retrograde during the month of December. And the 9th house has to do with our values and our belief systems, as well as education programs, teaching, learning, long distance travel, other cultures, like how we're kind of, being, interested in kind of what's happening beyond what we know. It's a seeker house. And so full moons are a time of setting intentions and wanting to manifest things into our lives, and then also a time of releasing and letting go. I think that one of the things that's really positive for Libra right now is to be open to expanding your perspectives beyond where you've had them. It's really easy for us to get kind of in a box around what we believe to be true. And when we have transits that are challenging us, it's trying to push us out of the box. So it's like if we've been kind of like, this is who I am, this is how I think, this is what I believe, these are the structures or the systems that work for me, and we're just staying there, we're missing a whole other world or opportunity to kind of grow beyond where we've been. If we're bored, if we feel complacent, we're not learning enough. So there's so much to learn in this life. There's so much. So if you're starting to get in that funk, this is an opportunity, this full moon, for you to really reflect on, what can I do about it? And Mercury stations direct on this day too. And so some of those communication things that we've been up against, we're supposed to be kind of building some more forward momentum around how we problem solve and pursue, our communication moving forward. Then after that, on the 21st, the sun is going to move into Capricorn, and, the winter solstice is going to happen. So the sun's going to move out of the communication house and into the house of home and family. It puts a big, huge emphasis on family and everything going on with your home life. There can be a really good opportunity for ancestral karmic healing here, if that's something that you want to focus on. That can also be really good if you have been working through values and belief systems and structures that you're trying to shift or grow or evolve from. And then on December 30th, we're going to have a new moon at 9 degrees Capricorn. And so again, hitting in this house for you, the 4th house, this is an opportunity for you to set intentions towards things that you want to manifest or call in when it comes to home and family. So your family, is your like in your chart, it is your family, like your mom, dad, or cousins, or anybody that you call family. If you don't have a relationship with your family, this can also lend itself to wanting to set intentions around healing around family issues. If you're somebody that has a lot of trauma or, ancestral wounds, this is an opportunity for you to work on healing and setting intentions around what you want to heal in that way. And then also your home. So, if you want to move, or if you want to change something about your home, if you want to feel better in your space, you can set intentions towards this. Also, whoever you share your home with, whether that's animals, your partner, any family members, if you live at home, just anybody or anything, you can set intentions on this new moon around what energy you wish to bring in, right? What do you want out of your home life? And we also have a relationship to home within ourselves. How do we feel at home within ourselves? And so Venus in the 5th house also is kind of helping us reflect on how we express ourselves in that way, where it's passing for you. All right, Libra, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that you have a great entry into the new year. And if you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button. I post these every month. You can find me at theladyofleosure.com and thesobercurator.com. It's part of my hair. It just keeps, I need a haircut, you guys. But I will see you all next month. Happy holidays.